Can I turn a hobby of mine into a nice lucrative side hustle? Let's find out. Hi everybody, my name is Jeff Ragauskas, otherwise known as CandidCubs, founder of CandidCubs Cards, and I asked myself a question a few months ago: can I turn one of my hobbies into a lucrative side hustle? Well, we're going to spend some videos and make some content as we try to find that out together.
It will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine.
So how are we going to do that? How am I going to do that? What are the costs and how successful am I be?
Who am I? I don't know.
So I'm Jeff Ragauskas. I'm a lifelong Chicago Cubs fan. If you can't tell by my absolutely ridiculous basement, I've been collecting baseball cards and a bunch of other things for a really long time. Professionally, I do something else, to pay the bills, get health insurance, but I've always enjoyed baseball. As you know, baseball cards, Pokemon cards, they've all come back, and in short supply, it feels like. When I open a pack of baseball cards, that feeling of thinking that there could be something in there that's really, really cool, or in this case, really, really valuable, it's super exciting. And knowing what to buy and what not to buy can be super challenging because there's all these different odds, different types of base cards, different types of cards in general that make all of this, super, super challenging, super hard to do. Why did I decide to try to do this?
Losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
Well, honestly, I just wanted to see if I can. I've been collecting baseball cards for the last few months. I've been able to get into some pre-orders, and I've been able to look at some different things and seen these videos and thought, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to put together a little eBay store. I'm going to start selling cards. I'm going to get a scanner so I can make my cards and my sales listings look prettier. I'm going to need a computer that can handle multi-camera streaming, so when I go on Whatnot, people can not only see my cards, but they can see myself. Because the streams that I like is when I can see the person I'm buying from, because I feel a little bit more of a connection. And I like creating things. If you didn't watch my podcast, I had a Cubs podcast for about 2 years called Bricks Behind the Ivy.
Who?
That's the silence of you realizing you never heard of it. But I thought it was pretty successful. I had a lot of fun doing it. I wanted to do something that didn't feel like a job, that I had fun doing, that also could make a little extra money. Can I do something I enjoy, and at minimum use it to pay for other things that I enjoy, or could I turn it into a business?
And here we go.
There's a few things that we're going to start with. The random starting point was last Friday, so July 3rd was the birth date of CandidCubs Cards. Happy birthday, CandidCubs Cards. You're a week old. So let's talk about startup costs. And two things I knew I needed the most was a computer, which I wanted to get a small form factor, a mini PC, for another project I'm working on for my kids, in which I want them to be able to play some retro video games that I enjoyed, or properties that my kids are now enjoying, including Lord of the Rings, try those things. So I needed a computer that had a graphics chip that could run the emulator, and also when I wasn't doing that, it needed to have enough RAM for it to be able to run a multi-camera stream for when I decided to do Whatnot. So I landed on the GMK Tech Nukebox M6. Pricing these things, and if you're not aware, there's a significant RAM shortage out there, and with RAM being hard to get, it's now very expensive. The Nukebox ended up being $379.99 when I bought it on Prime Day, so that's one thing on the list, and we're going to add that to our expenses. Number two, I wanted to get a scanner. There's some really high-end scanners out there, a Ricoh scanner that can do a ton of cards in a very short time frame. So my target is the dollar card space. I am not looking to push at this point with the type of supply that I have and the cost of grading cards. I'm not looking to push extremely expensive cards. I'm not looking to flip cards and grade cards in order to increase their value. I'm looking to get cards that I enjoy having to build my own personal collection, which is mainly Cubs players, and an offshot of a Valpo player here once and again. Go Valpo, go Peakins. And I want to turn that into this business. So I want my cards to look great. So I found the second option, the Epson 402, which was also available on Prime Day, and was $299.99. Not as much as I wanted to spend, but I knew the startup cost for this business wasn't going to be something that I was going to be super excited about. It's going to be a little bit more expensive than I wanted it to be. So what else did I need? I needed envelopes. I needed card holders. I needed card supplies. I needed penny sleeves. I needed top loaders. Got all these things. spent more money than I wanted to, as you can see on the screen, and that's my startup cost. So we've been doing this for about a week. So I had sold some cards prior to a week ago, but we're not going to count that in our weekly tracker because I'm going to try to do this each week. But we are going to take a look at what cards we sold this week and how much we sold them for and lessons learned. This first week, I started moving at least a card a day, and on some days I moved multiple cards. Murakami and Shohei Ohtani base cards from the top Series 2 set that recently came out, those moved very quick. One thing that I learned in that process was I needed to be more in control of what my shipping costs were. And I didn't have the shipping profile correct in the first few weeks. So 2 of my orders, higher orders of 5 or 6 cards for Ohtani and Murakami, I paid about $6 in shipping and had made about $6 on the card since they were 5 cards and $6 each. So I ended up at a loss. So that was after the first week. We're looking at, an okay attack into our profit margin, not what we're looking for. I wonder how long it's going to take for us to get there. So do you think dollar cards is the right play? Have you tried this yourself? Let me know in the comments what you think. We'll be back next week, tell you how I did, what kinds of cards I moved, and how we're coming on setting up that Whatnot store. Until then, check out all the links in my profile. Go to CandidCubs Cards on eBay, share with your friends, and see what kind of cards you have. As I'm working on customer service and all these things, please check us out. Have a great day, and go Cubs.